Hello, everyone, Witches of the Moon. This is Bravehawk coming at you with the topic of the 8 clairsenses, which I have notes here so I don't get distracted. And I talk about just lost my train of thought. Sorry, and talk about psychic sensitivity. I think psychic sensitivity is more your body's way of warming up. I'm a reader, a psychic medium, and a tarot reader, and I do readings a lot. And one of the things that I get is kind of like a body buzz before I really start to feel anything. And that's just kind of like the way of my body saying, okay, we are gearing up. We are going to throw some things your way and just be ready for it. So a lot of the times, if I feel like I'm just not ready for it, I tell my body, okay, look, it's 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm trying to sleep. You gotta take these coded messages that Archangel Michael or whoever is trying to give me and tell them that they need to send me an email because I got work at 9 a.m. and I need to sleep. Okay, that's it. That's what happens. When you become very sensitive to things, you've got to set boundaries sometimes. And in the beginning, it's going to come at you anyway. Oh, it's 3 in the morning and you're deep asleep. This is the perfect time to talk to you. How do you do? It happens. And so basically, when I feel that body buzz, I've got to ask myself, I got to tell my brain and my body, I'm like, okay, is this really the best time to do this? And I've kind of trained myself, my energy, to kind of stop it there until I give it the go ahead. Okay, well, you know what? I'm about to have a reading, so it's okay. We can do this. Go ahead and give me the message, whoever you may be. If it's, I get the tingling sensation at 3 in the morning, then I tell my body, so look, no, it's not going to happen. I'm rolling back over. I'm putting the covers over my head, and the message can go right over in the ether somewhere because I'm not catching it today. And I move on with my day. So how they come across will be different for everyone. And I feel a lot of these people, a lot of you people out there in internet land will experience probably all of these, just not all at the same time when you're giving readings or getting your senses kind of kicked up a bit. So the first one is clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is just clear seeing things. So if you can close your eyes right now, take a deep breath, and I want you to picture a lush green tree in front of you. If you can see that, you are using your clairvoyance. That is just a small fraction of what you can do with your clairvoyance, but you are using your mind-seeing eye to do that. There's other clairvoyance as well. It might not be easy. Not everyone has it. It might not manifest this way in every clairvoyant, but that is where you can see things outside of your mind. Like if you are walking somewhere and you see another person walking up the street, they look like a normal person. They're perfectly, fine and everything, and until someone tells you later on that no one was there. Sometimes that's how that manifests as well. What else? I think that's all I have on that topic. I have had my experience of seeing people that aren't there, and people talking to me later like, hey, who were you talking to the other day? They never tell me after the fact. They wait days later. And, I'm not a person that remembers a lot of details. I sort of I see it, I know it. Okay, we have this conversation, and then when I part with you, things just kind of bleed out my head and I forget everything. So they kind of have to tell me the details of what I was talking about to that said imaginary person that they think I was talking to, and then I can go, okay, oh yeah, well, I saw someone that day, and this is what they look like, yada yada yada. And then of course now you're the crazy person, but that's all right. That's just how it is. But yeah, I've had my fair share on public buses, at work. None of the good places where you're supposed to have it, like in the privacy of your own home. But that's not how it's supposed to be, right? Um, do I have anything else on this topic? No. So we'll go to claircognizance, which is a clear knowing. What does this say about clear knowing? Clear knowing is when you actually know something, but you never read a book about it. You never experienced it or anything like that. When I have readings, there are times where I feel certain symptoms, like this person has passed by, lung issues. I'm feeling, contractions in my chest and so on and so forth. I've never had those type of things before, but that's a type of clear knowing as well. And I think a lot of people utilize the clear knowing whether they know it or not. If you've ever had a deja vu, I believe that stems from a claircognizance type of ability. Hold on, let's see. Now, claircognizance, this little guide here says that, if you ever heard the term downloads, yes, I used quotes. If you ever heard the term downloads, claircognizance is attached to that. But you might not know it at that given time. So if you do a meditation now, if I tell you to close your eyes and to picture that green lush tree, and then I want you to say something to that tree, ask it a question, and then wait for an answer. And maybe now you won't hear the answer, but maybe 10 days from now or so, you suddenly just kind of know the answer to that question. Well, that imagery or that tree put something into your body right now, and it took some time for your energy to digest it and to kind of help you process what they were saying. Or maybe it was in a type of language or something that your mind couldn't quite comprehend at that time, and it had to kind of dissect it and kind of break it down to give it to you in kind of a layman's way of knowing it, if that makes sense. What else do I got on this? I think that's all I got for that. Downloads are a really tricky subject. They're definitely interesting. If you do a lot of dream work, you're probably getting a lot of downloads. That's a whole nother topic. I'm not going to get into that. The next one is clairaudience. Now look, I've given some readings. I've had some strange readings, but the strangest reading I gave was to someone that had a lot of birds, and all those birds have passed. And guess what I heard for 3 days after that reading? A lot of squawking and a lot of birds. And I don't know if you ever heard of an upset parrot screaming, like squealing almost. Yeah, it was that. Those are interesting times. But yes, clairaudience is just a matter of clear hearing. If I asked you to kind of close your eyes and picture that lush green tree with the breeze going through it, you can hear that breeze just whipping through the trees, and now you can hear those birds chirping that I heard for 3 days, those squawking parrots. then you probably have a little bit of clairaudience, and you're able to work with that and tap in that further. That's just a small bit of what you can do. When you do readings like I have, when I do my mediumship, sometimes I'll just hear, buzzes, or I'll actually hear a voice, and sometimes I'll just hear a name, and they'll give me images, back to that clairvoyance where you see images. That's how a lot of times I get the clairaudience and the clairvoyance mostly. So that's something to experiment with as well. Hold on, there are some examples on here I want to give. One of the examples I like here is if you've ever been driving on a highway and your ass got to get somewhere and you're speeding and you're like, you know what, I got to be to work in 5 minutes, but this is a 15-minute drive. I'm going to put the pedal to the metal, and you start to do it, and suddenly that voice inside your head says, maybe you should just be late today. And you're like, you know what, it's not worth the ticket, and you kind of kick back and slow down, and suddenly there's a cop that rolls right on by you. That's your clairaudience kicking in right there. So if you've ever had one of those experiences, your clairaudio as well, you've used that. And like I said, us readers, anyone that is, psychically in tune, whatever you want to call it, we're tapped into the matrix, whatever. You're gonna get all these clairaudios at some point in time, and they're all gonna manifest differently. So there you go. So that's one of them, and I like that example, and I think that's a really good example. Let's go to the next one. All right, so clairempathy is the next one. Clairempathy is, it says clear emotion, but when you're empathetic, you don't always have clear emotions. When you are a clairempath, I like that word better, clairempath. You not only feel your emotions intensely. Let me say that again. You not only feel your emotions intensely, you will feel others' emotion intensely as well. So Pisces are naturally clairempathetic. They're the one of the signs that, all you got to say, I'm a Pisces, that I know you're using your empathy at some point in that day. Probably 5-6 times already. You're done burnt out. Crawled in a corner and cried 5 times already, because that's what Pisces do. That we over emotionalize everything. It's just the thing that we do. And that's why we're such good poets and songwriters. And that's why we're horrible at addictions. But yeah, when you are an empath or a clairempath, everything is intense to you. Every emotion that you come across is intense to you. It's like seeing a really good painting. If you ever been to a museum and you walked up to the painting and maybe from afar it just looked okay, and when you get up there and you start looking at it and you just get these waves of emotions over you, that's a clairempathy. One of the notes in here in this little thing that I'm using for kind of a guide, it's saying that, empaths really do need some kind of way to kind of psychically shield themselves or guard themselves from other people's emotions, so you can deal with your own emotions. Because the stronger you are emotionally, and the more that you can deal with your own shit, then you can deal with other people's shit, other people's stuff as well. I personally, there are a couple stones that are my go-to stones. Not to throw all my secrets out there, but shungite is a really good one, especially if you're a chronic cell phone user or chronic electronic user. Shungite is good for just kind of at the end of the day before you go to bed. You hold it. The bigger, a lot of times, it doesn't matter the size of the rock, but with shungite, I think the bigger it is, the better. So I have a large shungite that I use before bed. If I'm really feeling like there are a lot of senses of mine that are just getting overloaded, and I'll hold my shungite egg, and I'll wait for all that to kind of calm down, calm down, and then I go to bed. Because before bed, I actually do mantra work. I'm a follower of Green Tara. Guan Yin is kind of a form of the Taras, the 21 Taras, and I follow Green Tara, and I do mantras for her, and I go through 108 recitations on my mala. So that kind of helps clear me and get all my stuff just in check. And if I feel after I do that things are still wild and crazy and I don't have my head in check, then I'll grab the shungite and I'll do a little more meditation to kind of clear myself up, shut things down so I can go to sleep and have a good night's rest. So at 3 a.m., I'm not hearing Archangel Michael buzzing in my ear trying to give me messages and triple digits and all these codes that I'm supposed to know that I don't know, and they want me to break it down and to give it to this said person, but I've got to meet this person so that person can give it to that person and that person can give it to that person, and so on and so forth. I don't want to hear that at 3 a.m. At 3 a.m., I like to be in my bed and I like the covers over my head. That's what I like personally. Sleep, it's a great thing. I'm a Pisces. Sleep in space. I like to be a space cadet. I like my daydreams and I like my bed. So don't ruin that, please. So that's why I have shungite. There are other stones as well. If you are, very sensitive in your dreams, empathetic in your dreams, you're getting all these weird, like, emotional dreams, like things are really coming through and really just saturating you, sapping your energy, then blue lace agate is a really good stone to have by your bed. Again, hold it before you go to bed. Kind of visualize some kind of halo or your aura around you, protecting you and shielding things, and then go to bed, and you should have a really good night's sleep. There are other stones that I want to give you, but I'm just going to keep those to myself because every time I give out stones, suddenly the market increases and I can never find that stone again, and I'm just going to be selfish and keep it to myself. Y'all just going to have to hate me for that. That's fine. But, besides all the stones that I'm giving you, mantra work is another good thing. I do 108 mantras every night before I go to bed. In fact, I do 108 when I wake up as well, just to get me going and to make sure that my mind is in check. Because sometimes when I wake up, my mind is in either two states: complete dead, I can't get it moving, or it's too wired, everything's coming at me at once, and I need to shut things down so I can get my day started so I can process right to do the other things that I need to do. And I do mantra work, and I do it 108 times. So that's another good thing to put out there. Do I need to talk about anything else about this? No, I'll go on to the next one. All right, the next one is clairsentience. Wow, this video is getting long, isn't it? All right, the next one is clairsentience. Random thought, sorry. Clairsentience, which is clear physical feeling. What is this one? This is the gut feeling one, okay? So if you've ever just had a weird gut feeling, you don't know why you have it, it's just there. Oh, I met that person, he's so nice, but there's just something about him that makes me want to punch him in the face. That's your clairsentience coming in. Maybe that guy did something in his past life that you gotta make him pay for now. I don't know. But we have these weird gut feelings that come for a particular reason. And a lot of times you will be proven right that, oh yeah, you need to trust your instincts and this is why. What else does this say about that sense? You can also feel the physical and emotional pain of a land or place where tragic events have occurred, such as fear, jealousy, insecurity, hatred, and pain. Never knew that. So there's that. So I guess that I feel like that's more of a empath thing, but okay. Um, yeah, it's just a clear physical feeling. I don't feel like I need to go more than that, other than it's a gut feeling. We've all had gut feelings. It's a thing that we all have. And if you haven't had a gut feeling, then you are working against your gut, and you should stop doing that. That's all I gotta say. All right, here's my favorite, clairtangency, also known as, I hope I'm saying this right, psychometry. That is where you touch items such as stones. Like, this is my citrine skull. I actually just got this today at a psychic fair. So if I were to touch this, close my eyes and see that lush green tree, hear those birds chirping, hear that wind wisping through that tree, and suddenly I start to massage the skull like I usually do in my readings, because I always use skulls. That it starts to speak to me in a way that I don't usually hear voices, but then I'll put it down and suddenly it goes away, and then I touch it again and it comes back. That's psychometry. That's where you get emotions and feelings and such through objects. It's a psychic touch, basically. What else I gotta say about this? Let me just read the definition. Clear touching, basically. If you have the ability to perceive facts about an event or person by contact with or proximity of the object or person, didn't know it was people as well. This is also known as psychometry. So you're there. That's the definition. All right, and I think this is the last one. No, we got one more. Clairsalience. Did I say that right? Salience. All right, that is clear smelling. This, I used to have this so much as a kid, and I never knew why I had these different smells as a kid. And one of them, I was always smelling strawberries. Everywhere I went, smells like strawberries, fresh strawberries. Yeah, if you ever, you do a reading for people, and then suddenly you smell roses, like if I tell you to close your eyes and, all right, I want you to picture your mother, and then I want you to tell me what she smells like. And if you can actually smell the smells in your nose right now, even though she's not there with you anywhere in your presence, that's a way of tapping into your clear smelling. I think a lot of people probably do this and they don't know they do it. If you ever been around that one person that swears they smell smoke, it's like, is someone smoking? I smell smoke. We all have that one person that's around us, and sure as shit, something catches on fire, or something burns in the microwave, or little Johnny's playing with matches in the corner, setting curtains on fire, whatever it may be, something's happening, and they prove you right, and like, well, you don't smell smoke, but now there is smoke. It's kind of like that. It's an ability to kind of smell things before they actually happen. A lot of times, I will get, different smells in my readings. I think I talked about this in another thing I was trying to shoot, but I kept coughing. But my story was when I was reading someone, and I smelled this particular soup, but I've never had the soup, and it was a Spanish soup, and I haven't had a lot of Spanish food, so I was trying to describe the smells to this person, and they're like, oh yeah, my aunt used to make this soup, and you described it perfectly. And it's just really weird how you can do things like that. So always trust your senses. Always trust what spirit is trying to give you. Sometimes it is hard to articulate, but that's why we have all these different clairsentience, clairsenses to help you out to get your message across. What else do I gotta say? I think that's it for that one. This one is clairgustance, which is clear tasting. It's where you receive psychic information through the sense of taste without any physical source of that taste in your mouth. This is like me telling you to close your eyes. All right, now close your eyes. And I want you to grab, in your mind's eye, grab into the air, and in your hand you have a cup, and I want you to put that cup to your mouth and put the straw to your mouth and take a sip. Now, what do you taste? And if you taste something, say you taste Dr. Pepper, which is my favorite, guys, or Sprite. I ain't hating on you, Sprite guys, but it's great in cognac. That's the only way I can drink it. Just putting that out there. And then you're probably this clear taste and thing. I haven't had this one, I don't think. Unless you count, well, I did smell a lot of strawberries as a kid, like I said before, and I can almost taste it, but I never really tasted it. So I guess I haven't had this one yet. It's on my bucket list, I guess. It's on my psychic bucket list. All right, and so this is all that I have for you guys. I feel like this video is like really super long, but I hope you guys are still there. And these all make sense. As always, please post your questions below. I always try to get back to you. If not, I am on Twitter and on Periscope as well under the @QBraveHawk. I will put it in these comments, hopefully in the notes section. Whatever it is, the stuff that says, hey, this is what this video is about. I'll put it in there. Other than that, I will see you guys next week. Have a great one.